aliens don't drown, so they just kind of they just sink to the bottom of the ocean, just walk on the ocean floor.
Or they just don't go in the ocean.
Yeah, like
Xavier, they went in the water and they just can't swim. They just sink to the bottom of the ocean.
One of them,
but he grabbed onto the boat.
One of them did it, and the other was like, "I'm not doing that." You see this buddy drowning.
That'd be funny if it was like, brother.
I thought what I thought it was gonna be. So like.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to MediaMix. Another week, another episode of a bunch of idiots talking about a movie that contributes nothing to society. This week, we're talking about a scary movie, A Quiet Place 2. And I am joined with the other Nick.
Hi.
Xavier.
Hello.
Vicky.
Peace out.
Alex. And Jack.
What's up?
All right. It's the Quiet Place 2 episode. So, who wants to start us off with the story synopsis?
I do it.
Or are we going to go over the first movie really quick?
Oh, well, I figured we'd kind of have to go over the first movie to understand the second one.
Who wants to do
sure.
the first movie?
We can do that real quick.
Because I was going to do the second.
Who wants to do it? Who's the most familiar with it? Because it's been a long time since I've seen
I
it.
understand the first movie. It's just all it was is, a family and this. It's like a post-apocalyptic, like time kind of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're living in this big farm where they grow their own food and whatnot, and basically they're just trying to stay as quiet as they can all the time, because of the aliens that came down to the Earth, who only can see by hearing. They're blind.
They're blind.
Yeah.
They have super hearing.
Yeah, they have super hearing.
Mm-hmm.
They can only see by they can only know where you are if you make noise. So that's why everybody is extremely quiet. That's basically where the movie takes place in.
They're super bats.
Yeah, yeah. And then throughout the movie, we find out that there's a deaf girl, and then there's the two kids.
They had two sons and a daughter.
Two sons, a daughter, and then there's the two parents. And
the baby that
in the very beginning, the kid, accidentally grabs a spaceship that makes noise.
The
toy
youngest.
spaceship.
So he bites it. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, the movie's been out for a while, I think.
Okay, but if they haven't seen it,
Why are you going into the second one?
They had it coming. They should have seen it already. You should have seen Quiet Place 1 by now. Sorry.
Anyways, kid, grabs a toy spaceship that makes noise and, kind of just dies in the beginning of the movie, which is pretty tragic.
Mm-hmm.
So then now they're down to two kids.
Reagan and Marcus.
Is that what their names are?
Yeah.
Okay.
Two kids and counting.
And the mom is also pregnant.
Yeah, the mom is pregnant as well.
Evelyn. The dad is Lee.
Yep.
Who, at the end of the first movie, sacrificed himself for his kids.
I mean, I was gonna get there, but
okay, well,
I guess we could just skip. I guess we could just skip right to it.
Introducing the characters.
Jake
he's
Jablinski.
not allowed in the second movie.
We don't have to.
Why.
We don't have to go that far into the first movie.
I mean, I'm not going that far.
Well, we're
basically,
explaining why he's not in it.
Well, basically, the main thing you need to take away from this first movie is the dad, Lee, was trying to create a hearing aid for his deaf daughter. And I'm pretty sure he failed multiple times. And one of the final ones that he made before he sacrificed himself, it also sucked. It doesn't work properly, but it makes such a high pitched noise that it distorts the aliens, and it makes them kind of just freak out, and it kind of just makes them sit there and freak out and want to get away. But if it's at a high enough volume, they kind of just sit there and they kind of just sit there, and their whole head opens up to where they're exposed. And once they're exposed, we find out in the pretty much the final scene of the first movie that if you shoot them in the head while they're sitting there listening to that sound, they'll actually die because they're inside.
It's sensitive.
The insides of their head is not bulletproof.
Head opens up because they have to they're being freaked out, and because the noise is messing with their ears, and so they're just going crazy because their face opens up, because I feel like the face was a shield for them. So when it opens up, it reveals that soft part. You know, in the back of your head, you have a soft spot. If that for babies, if you hit it, it's detrimental. It's something it's something like that.
Your head opens up and you have an aneurysm and all that.
What?
No.
That's not all of us. You just have a whole soft head.
Anywho, that's
I
how
just have
the
an alien head. It just opens up like a Venus flytrap.
You reference Venus flytraps a lot. Sorry.
Do I?
Yeah, this is probably like the third time you've referenced a
Make a
Venus
tally.
flytrap.
Make a tally and post how many times I referenced that.
Anyways,
And Destiny.
that's how the first movie ends. We find out, the dad sacrifices himself, but then we actually find out how they're able to actually kill the monsters now by using that high frequency, failed earpiece that the dad made for his daughter. And yeah, that's pretty much what we go into with the second movie.
Yeah.
So if you want to take it away, Nick.
And then the second movie, it begins with however many years or days?
No, it was the first day.
It was the
first day.
yeah,
Starts with
Immediately
a
after.
flashback.
immediately after
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
they were getting attacked.
Okay, so day one, and then they show up. I could just go over it really quick.
The asteroid.
Well, yeah. So an asteroid hits, and then like Cillian Murphy's like, "Oh no, spoopy," and then he leaves, and then Lee is like, well, John Krasinski's character, he goes and like finds his daughter or whatever, and they start getting attacked, and then you see that the monsters or what demigorgons, whatever you want to call them, they're
Aliens.
bulletproof, and then yada yada stuff happens. It's
Okay, that was a terrible.
Yeah,
I know
that
it was
really
a terrible
bad.
synopsis.
Terrible.
It meshes into one. So after that, where does it start? It starts from where the first movie ends, and there's a fire in the barn that they set on fire that's also being flooded, and then they're walking towards whatever area where the other fire is, and that's where Cillian Murphy's character is, and they go
Emmett.
over to there, Emmett, and then they talk to him, and he's like, people aren't worth being saved or whatever, and
All right, well,
typical apocalyptic
real
character.
quick, we meet Emmett's character, or Cillian Murphy's character, Emmett, in the flashback scene in the beginning of the movie.
Right.
He's
He
also
was that guy sitting in the chair, right?
yeah, he's also a friend
The
of
bleacher.
he's probably a neighbor and also a friend of Lee's family, and they both have kids that play baseball. So and another thing is, I'm pretty sure in the first movie, remember how Lee would go to the top of the it was like the thing that holds all the corn and like put a fire up there
Yeah.
like every night,
Mhm.
and then he'd see another fire over there. I'm pretty sure that was Lee.
Yeah,
the whole
that
time.
was-
That's
Yeah.
Lee the whole time.
Emmett.
Emmett?
Lee's
Lee
the
the whole
dad.
time.
That's Emmett the whole
Emmett's
time.
other-
Yeah. So that's how they find out, he's still alive and still there, because in the second movie we find the daughter going up there and starting the fire and seeing that Emmett is.
But they don't know that it's Emmett. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
they know it's
right?
somebody.
They don't know
Yeah.
who it
Yeah.
was. Yeah.
Because there was several like bonfires, I guess, like signaling everyone that slowly kept
Was there
dying
multiple?
out. yeah.
Yeah, there's like 5 of them. That's why on the map,
then-
Reagan just like drew like
Oh,
X's
is that
on
why the
them,
X's were
'cause
doing-
the fire didn't show up
Oh.
because
And there's only one left.
Yeah.
I think it's
Oh, man.
interesting comparing Lee to Emmett because they're both like polar opposites. I would say.
I
Lee's
don't know
like,
about that.
well, think about it. Lee's
They're
like,
similar, I think.
he was obsessed with trying to get his daughter to like finally hear. That's why he was constantly working
He
on
was
the
a
hearing
father.
aids.
So,
So he was selfless. He was self-sacrificing. He sacrificed himself to save his family. And then on the other hand, let's like introducing Lee. Who was Lee?
Emmett.
We learn or Emmett. God damn it. So Emmett, he told the Abbotts that what do you have kids? He had kids, right?
Yeah,
He had a
Emmett
son,
yeah.
He watched his family
2 kids.
like pass away basically.
Yeah.
He couldn't do anything about it. Like instead of like seeking out something to like help his family, he was like, I'm powerless. I don't know what to do. So he just watched his family die.
That doesn't mean he's not selfless, though.
Well,
No.
he also
He
not
watched his
self-
wife
he's like-
die of disease.
Dude,
Yeah, because he
he
couldn't help her.
Mrs. Abbott, what's her name? Her first name? The mom? Well, the
Evelyn?
mom was like, you saw us light that fire every night, and you never bothered to like come down and see us.
Yeah, but you can say
Yeah.
the same thing to them, right? They didn't bother to do
Yeah.
anything or go to him.
Sorry.
Well,
true.
they
Right.
actually. Well, no. The Abbotts actually did go out. And
Yeah, after
adventure.
their
after the fact
after the
that
father
Lee
died.
He died.
Yeah.
No,
Home was
even
They did it in the
before
beginning
that.
as well,
Yeah, they
too,
did in the
yeah.
beginning. Remember how the son died? Because they went to like the store to
But
get supplies.
You don't know if he was going to stores and stuff. He just didn't travel to them.
Right.
True, but I'm trying to think. One
Well-
of you guys can.
Okay.
All right,
So where
let's
are we
we'll get
at?
back to you
finish
on
the
that.
Where we at in the
synopsis.
story?
So yeah, basically the second movie, intro happens. We find out what happens at the beginning, which is actually I thought it was pretty cool. Where it was showing like the video of like the meteors coming down and whatnot, which really happened very fast. Like you see in like the television while in the shop, you know, just the meteor coming down, and like maybe I don't know, not even 5 minutes later, the aliens are already like attacking everywhere.
Right.
Even though like I don't, this meteor could not have been anywhere close. Like the one that was already on the ground, they saw on the television because you know.
I thought that was a bomb.
They said
I didn't know
on the
what it
TV
was.
they said it was a bomb. Like they had like ground experts like go and they're like, oh, a bomb went off like at the tower or like this building or something.
what it
But
was?
I
Yeah.
think it was actually another like meteoroid or like asteroid
Yeah.
or something coming down with the aliens in it. So I feel like
It just seemed like really
that's-
fast.
Yeah.
It just seemed like they were
It
able
was-
to.
It was kind of rushed because especially another part about it, because where are we at in the story as far as like our synopsis right now?
I mean, I'm just talking about. I'm just kind of jumping around. Like, I'm in the
Well,
beginning right
synopsis
now.
is like brief. We're like going into it now.
Oh, well, should I just really
Clearly.
quick go through the rest of the story?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, so where are we at?
Well,
they
anyway,
they meet with
Oh, okay,
Emmett.
they meet with Emmett, and then he's like, no, people aren't worth to save,
Some people.
and some people aren't worth to save, and then after what's his name hears the music, the one kid,
the boy,
The
the
boy.
injured boy.
Marcus.
Reagan is like, oh, I can go save people. I can go find out like where these people are, and then she leaves. And then Emmett is forced to go after her, even though he's like, whatever, she's just gonna die. And then goes after her, and then after that they meet up and then go and get a boat and then find an island and they save people.
And they find
They
out
find
that
the people.
we find out that the aliens cannot swim, which is pretty cool. Yeah,
They can drive a boat.
that's
No,
That's
I
like-
think
I
I
like
think
that
it was
part.
just floating because of the tide,
I'm
like
just kidding.
pulling them out.
And during that time of them actually going to the island, the other characters are doing whatever. The one kid, you know.
Trying to
I didn't
live,
like
you know,
that
not
side of
from
the
that
story. I
island.
thought it was kind of pointless.
Well, we can
We kind
get
of need
into
to
that.
know
can
because
get
like if
into
they
it.
didn't show their side of the story, we
That'd
would
be just kind of
we'd be
irrelevant,
like, what
yeah.
are they doing? Like, what's going on?
they
Are
needed
they dead?
something.
Exactly, but that's my point. It was just filler because everything happening on their side with the son and the mom was completely irrelevant to what was happening with the daughter and Emmett.
Pretty
right?
much.
It's all connected.
It's
I
really
I
not.
feel like it's all connected because that end scene where they were just like both like had the when she put the hearing aid at the end and when they both were going to kill that monster. I feel like the side by side of them doing that, I think it connected it very well for the story.
Yeah, that's the only connection I can really name though. Also, another thing that was really stupid. Well, I guess we should wait about it. I was gonna talk about how the son kind of just left the bunker for no reason.
Oh yeah. Let's get into like some first impressions.
Yeah, I was gonna say
favorite characters.
first impressions.
Let's do
scenes, whatnot.
characters first.
Well, it doesn't matter. Just say whatever's on your mind.
Because okay, so after like you gave me some time to think about it, getting back to Lee versus Emmett, right?
Mm-hmm.
Lee is, like I said, self-sacrificing person. You know, we saw that at the end of the first movie, and when we look at Emmett, he's not. He didn't want to go out with mom's daughter. What's her name? I don't know. The deaf girl. He didn't want to go
Reagan.
out with her. He was telling her at the beginning. He was like, you can't do this. Like,
Yeah, but it's also not
You
his
can't-
kid, you know.
well, also he didn't want
He
the
also
trouble.
lost his
He
kid.
was trying to be like, avoiding conflict, avoiding any like danger. Just bring the girl back and go back to the warehouse and where it's safe.
Well, yeah, who wouldn't?
Yeah, but once
That's
she
what I'm
said,
saying. Lee wouldn't have done that. That's
He
what the
clearly
girl,
did,
That's what
though.
the daughter was saying. That Lee would have gone to the island where that broadcasting was to save people.
I feel like they said that, but I just feel like that wouldn't have happened.
They did say that was important.
I know, but they were at that farm for 400 something days.
So let me keep going, right? As the movie progresses, we see Emmett kind of like try to emulate what Lee would do, like moving forward, like at the dock scene and on the island. He's doing all these like selfless acts to try to like save the deaf girl, save the islanders from the monster, you know. So it's like we kind of see an interesting progression with his character.
Well,
He goes
how
from
do you
being
know
like
that
a-
he wasn't like that before, and then the
wasn't like-
monster
he-
thing kind of devolved him into being, okay, so
Because he
everyone's
said-
dying, I need to take care of
Dude.
myself and be selfless or selfish, and then having to help Reagan, the deaf girl, actually made him be like, hey, I need to take care of her because I can't let her die because her mom that's the only thing she has left with her. Like, mom is the only parent left.
Why didn't Emmett try to save his family then when they were sick?
I'm sure
They're
he did.
sick. You
didn't.
can't help.
What is
didn't.
it? What is he supposed to be
We
like?
literally learned that
What,
with
he
their
wants
discussion.
to be he's a doctor or something?
like,
no.
He didn't even go to the store to try to get shit to help his
How did we know
mother-
that he didn't
not
know?
mother, his wife.
What if it was like she had cancer, right? And he's just
Yeah, like what's
Yeah,
if
they
that's
didn't
what
say
he
exactly
meant?
what it was.
He
Was he
literally
gonna
said she
shoot
got
the
sick
cancer?
and died
She had
within 6 months or
cancer.
something.
Well, the thing is like he didn't explicitly say what she had as far as sickness goes, but he said like there was no way to like help her.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
said
And
that
they
it went
did move.
quick.
Yeah.
So
So.
I don't know. I just
Okay,
feel like
whatever.
he lost.
Boom.
I just feel like he's lost all hope. I mean, wouldn't you too if your entire family just dies
Yeah.
and you're kind of just like there on your own, and then like, you know, I'm sure I'd lose hope too. Is
He
you know,
did
if I-
lose all hope. He
and
was
you're
Yeah.
you're terrified to
It's
even
not-
like go out.
Yeah.
It's like it's not worth
Yeah.
going out trying to save anybody because no one's worth saving.
Wow,
He
okay,
watched his
Nick.
son die
That's what
the
he
first
said.
day.
Yeah, he said that,
He
but
literally
then
said that.
the mom begged him to go get her because like she didn't want to lose her daughter either, and that's why he went out because the wife was like literally crying at him.
Yeah, she was like,
She was
"That's
like,
what Lee
"Please
would
save
do."
my daughter,"
And he like
and he
Thinking
did
from his
because he was like,
perspective,
"Okay, fine,
he did it, but he didn't want to do it, right?
yes."
I mean,
So-
would you go and help some random stranger you don't know and
No.
sacrifice your life?
But he knew
Exactly.
that.
At
Realistically,
first,
no,
you'd be
I
like,
wouldn't.
no, I don't know who they are.
Well-
But then when you start getting to know them and realize it means something
But
to
they're not
somebody,
strangers.
They're not
not
strangers. They
strangers,
knew
they
each other
hate each other.
beforehand.
We don't really know the
It's
daughter.
al-
We
like, it
don't really
was
know the
already-
daughter that well.
It was already established that Emmett didn't really care much for them because he was gonna kick him out the next day.
Because
know?
there was like no food and water. He didn't know how to help them. That's the thing. He was like, "You need to leave because there's nothing here." That's what he said.
Well,
It's not that he was like, "I don't want you here because you are annoying to me and I don't like you anymore." No, he just wanted to he wanted to be like, "Hey,
What
you
a-
need to leave. I can't help you. There's nothing I can do like right now because there's no hope. Like I can't do anything for you."
I think it was just he didn't really want to try and help as well.
I mean, it's a
Well, that's
combination
your
of both.
opinion.
Like I
That's
said,
my
he's
opinion,
he's
yeah.
lost hope. You know,
It's my opinion.
but
Another thing about not speaking about Emmett, but like, well, I guess it has to do with him. There was a lot of unanswered questions that I kind of would have liked. Or
Like what?
so they're like, there's not people worth saving, and you see like, I don't know, 5 minutes worth of people not wanting to be saved.
I had the same thing
And
where
then
I
they-
figured it'd be like a world of people.
I
That are
thought,
like,
yeah, I thought it would have been like, because they get to the one dock scene and it's kind of stupid because they're like, oh, you can't move or else this one thing is here. But like,
You talking about the rope?
where they like, yeah, where they
Yeah.
tie the.
I thought
Like
they
the
stabbed
gas and
him.
shit?
Yeah, I did
I thought he got
too.
stabbed.
Emmett stabbed the guy. One of the.
no.
bad
Like I
guys.
thought the girl like
Yeah, I
when
thought she just-
looked up. I thought she stabbed him.
Yeah,
No,
just
no,
like right in the neck. He's
No,
like,
she like literally just like put a rope around his neck and like tightened it. Like
Yeah.
she choked him out.
But it's
I see
kinda-
that now, but
The issue that I see with it, like with anything that you're trying to do to somebody, is that it's a double-edged sword. Like they tie this thing around him. Do you think? I don't think they knew that like they couldn't swim, like the
Yeah.
monsters or whatever. But like, what if they did? In that case, then if you just were just like, and then you just jump off, like what are they gonna do? Like it's the dumbest things. Also, why were their eyes like bloodshot? Like was that?
Also, the girl looked like burned or whatever.
She looked like a zombie.
Yeah,
like,
like
She looked
what?
like she had some sort of disease.
But what was like the noose attached to?
It was
the-
attached to
the-
like
Well,
a
the
net.
net with
Oh,
like,
so
the
that
cans
was-
on it that
okay.
made
Yeah.
noise.
Oh,
So if
yeah.
you moved, then the creatures would have came, and then he would have died.
I thought it would make more sense if like the noose was like attached to like a boat and they were like gonna start it like that would make more sense, right? It makes noise
Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
would kill him.
Also, speaking of like boats, how the hell does that boat get to the island? Like
They're faster than
no, yeah, well, no, because that's the thing.
they paddled.
Where the boat
monster
when
paddle.
it's there, because like it's the boat that the monster jumps on, right? That you see, like he jumps on the boat. The boat at that time is like I don't know, 30 feet away from the nearest shore. How does it manage to go like 500 feet to the other shore that is not the closest?
Maybe
That's not
why
how
it took
water
him so
works.
long to do that. Like it took a lot of time for them to be on that island, like get comfortable.
maybe
and
he
then
paddled.
attack.
Yeah, what is it?
Maybe the monsters just.
I don't think they were on that
They're
island
big
very
freaking-
long though.
But they weren't there for like they didn't get
I
there.
think it was like a
then
day and a
it
half.
Immediately happened. Like it took some time
Well,
for
like,
the creature
It
to
seemed
get
like over the
there.
course of just like the night.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
it was like a
I'm
day
saying
and a half,
It wasn't
basically.
immediate. It wasn't the same exact time it took Emmett and Reagan to get there.
Mhm.
It took him longer because he didn't know how to drive the boat.
Maybe the wind was just blowing towards the island.
It wasn't a sailboat though.
I mean, it
was
could have
a
just been the
regular-
tide as
It's
well.
a mass
Yeah.
of water.
We don't really know.
I don't know.
Wind
When I saw that scene of when they're leaving and then the alien got kind of like trapped on that boat, I'd be like, that'd be kind of funny if he just kind of like drifted over to the island. Then it actually happened.
And then
I was
it
like,
happened.
oh.
So that begs the question. So it only shows it in New York, right? Or whatever part. It's like the New York.
Is it New York?
Yeah, it's New York. There was a New York license plate, and there was like
okay.
a couple other areas.
problem.
outside
Could be
New York.
visiting.
They could be visiting. Yes, they're visiting. They're like, oh man, I can't wait to see Times
Before
Square.
the whole thing happened, it was like, they could be visiting. I don't know.
No.
What do you mean visiting Times Square?
Anyways,
It's in New York, right? So
Mhm.
that begs the question: if the meteor only hit in,
They're in New York?
yeah.
No, I didn't know that.
If
That's
it-
what I
if
was so
hits
confused
New
about.
York
I thought it was
State,
Brazil.
not
Like
New York
some
City.
sort of, like,
I
country
still would have
place.
guessed
But
that.
if it hits like America, that's only like half of the world that's affected. What the hell is there? What is the other?
Yeah, because they never mentioned if they like aliens landed on like the whole world or like just that one area.
Yeah, if it's
Well, it
worldwide.
looked like
I saw
multiple
the report
meteors
in
coming
Japan.
down.
So like they're in Japan. So
What?
What?
yeah, because the news report and the TV in the beginning
Oh, is
of
it
the
from
movie.
Japan?
Yeah, it was Japan. It was like the death toll in Japan is immeasurable.
I didn't.
Okay,
Oh,
but
I
is
didn't
it,
get
like,
that.
one in
I thought that
America,
was
one in
in-
Japan then,
Yeah,
or is
they-
it like 50 like going around the whole world? Like you don't know like the amount.
I'm
though.
pretty sure it went around the whole world. I'm
Dude,
pretty sure,
how-
like,
how-
aliens landed on every continent.
Okay, but like
Large
the
body
radio
of
station, I don't think the radio station would reach the entire world though. It would just reach
do you
New
mean?
York. So only New
Radio
York is
station?
fine.
Radio set? You mean?
The radio or like that radio
I
that
think
she
he's
went
referring
to.
to the scene on the
Return
TV.
to the beginning
For the
scene
I know,
of the
but the-
movie.
If it was a worldwide, Reagan when she went to go to the radio station,
I'm
it would
pretty
only
sure, like-
help New York. It wouldn't help the world.
You know.
Well, obviously,
I'm pretty
because
sure
it's such a
mass
small amount of
genocide
island,
of-
you can't get the whole world on that island.
Yeah.
Vicky, I'm pretty
So-
sure mass genocide of people in Japan would reach like international news.
So here's something that is kind of funny. So those people are safe because they're on an island. How crappy must it be to be on Japan? You're like, oh, don't worry, we're on an island, and then the meteor hits, and you're just like,
Now you're on
Well,
an
technically,
island
we're
trapped with
on
a
an
bunch of
island.
Shit.
well,
creatures.
yeah, I
Well,
guess that's
actually,
true.
no, because like
We're surrounded by all sides
no,
of
but
water.
we're like the bottom, like the ground's like connected to like the core and like all that stuff. Like we're not floating.
Like,
Wow.
So actually, we're not an island.
are we surrounded by water?
Yeah, that's
Yes.
the
Water
definition
what?
of an island, but well, I thought about this too as well, like with the aliens kind of like falling or whatever, the coming down. Like, what are the chances that even hit land?
Oh,
Because like
How
the
many
Earth is mostly
just-
covered in water and they don't swim, so like
They'll just die.
yeah, that would make sense.
Well, then there wouldn't be a movie.
Well, I know, but like
80% of the aliens died in
Yeah,
the water.
80%
Yeah.
of them.
So
So
wait,
this is like
who knows how many aliens there could have been?
This is like the 10% chance that the meteors actually hit Earth. Is this scenario? Like
Yeah.
all other scenarios are just like, oh, psh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they never knew.
and the other question is, so it hits like North America, right? And then it covers however far. Because that's the thing. What if only one meteor hit and it was in New York? They're not gonna hear a sound in like Florida. And if they do, that's really crappy. Like you sneeze in Florida and all you hear is like.
Well, also,
You're
like
just
they
like-
made like small sounds throughout the movie of like them like crunching a few leaves, like or going through the fence. So like
Yeah.
the minor like small
Or, like, an old
sounds, like
man
obviously
yelling.
like in Florida they're
Yeah.
not gonna hear them.
I
But
just
that's-
would have figured there were tons of meteors. It was
Yeah,
just like
so-
the one big one.
So going with the assumption that there's tons of meteors, there's like no animals left on North
Yeah,
America.
no,
I'm assuming.
they're all dead.
Yeah,
Because
there's,
like a
no-
deer would like crunch one leaf, and then there would be a monster, and then it just get like torn to shreds.
Wasn't
Mm-mm.
it-
There's
But
that
all the-
scene, the
What about all the
scary
cheetahs?
jump scare with the birds.
Bro, all the
Oh.
cheetahs are
Yeah, but
chilling.
they
they
can
fly.
fly.
Yeah, they can fly.
The aliens can jump.
If I see an
What about all
alien,
Pretty
the
far.
birds? What about all the birds? All the birds are chilling.
well, yeah,
That's what I just said.
We-
All
That's
the
what we
gazelles
just
and
said.
cheetahs are chilling, right?
In the first movie, like wasn't there a scene like with like a dead deer or something? I don't
There was
remember.
a scene with the
I-
I
raccoon.
just remember
Probably.
like it could have been.
There was
Yeah.
like
Like
a,
they showed like an
in the
animal
first movie, there was
dying.
like a scene where the raccoons were going through the hedges, and then just a giant like creature hand just goes like and crushes it.
Oh.
Dude, how much would
So
it
that's
suck
probably
if you were like a
A lot.
A raccoon.
I don't know. What makes loud noises in the wild? Wolves?
You.
I guess. I do.
So,
I howl at the moon.
All
Alright.
animals make noise.
so I don't know if you remember this, Xavier, but right after we watched the first movie, like a long time ago, you said something that was very funny, and you were like, how do they react when they first met like waterfalls and stuff like that? They just,
Oh yeah, like because they talked about how in the first movie the John Krasinski character Lee talked about how like they live next to a waterfall, or like kind of nearby, I guess.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like it kind of drowns out any kind of noise, so that's where they can talk.
Didn't he like scream or something under the water?
Yeah, like he was able to like yell and everything, and then for some reason like the aliens understand water or like understand that sounds like not a person.
I'm pretty
So you
sure
would
at
think that when
first
they
they were
first
just
come down,
like-
they'd just be attacking the water.
Okay, you know the videos of like dogs when you like shoot water out of the hose at them? They're like, "Arr!" You know?
Yeah, what
no,
if-
I don't think they did that.
I
Yeah,
didn't
I don't think they were.
I think what Xavier's
They're
getting
super
at.
playful with the water.
Yeah.
I think what Xavier's talking about is how long were they just sitting there, just whacking water
Yeah,
to get
imagine
it to
them
shut
just like
up?
jumping
until they
into
understood.
it, just like fucking just punting it. I
Till
don't
they-
know.
Running
Or
into the
also-
wall.
Yeah,
if
like
you're
running
s-
into it.
If you're stepping on leaves and that's like the biggest thing, like you're like, oh shit, right?
Don't
but
they
like,
also step on leaves?
huh, well, yeah. For
Sandy
starters,
They would hear their own footsteps.
they are
with the-
so loud. How would they hear anything outside of themselves?
Yeah.
And two, hearing even the waterfall, right, would be
Yeah.
so much louder from a distance than someone stepping on leaves next to you,
Mhm.
like from their probably perspective, right, of being able to only hear sounds. I don't know.
Yeah, you're right. Unrealistic. Bad movie.
Yeah.
Horrible.
0 out of 10.
Don't like it.
Maybe
Bad,
like,
John.
loud-
Not allowed.
Bad John Jablinski.
What if like loud
Jablinski.
sounds like the waterfall
It's like
like kind of cancel out the small noises like the fence and like the small leaves?
Well, that's what what it
Also,
kinda
how
is.
did the sprinkler system cover the noise of them opening that like heavy door that
I
was
think
in
the
that
sprinkler
warehouse?
just made it,
Also-
like,
Wait,
the
what?
door,
It didn't
like,
make any
quieter and,
noise.
like more smooth.
So here's the thing. So
It's like Daredevil.
yeah. Well, that's how I kind of thought of. But because Daredevil's blind and he has
true.
to go based off of sound.
And he can hear things
But-
from miles away.
Yes.
But like that
he's an alien.
foundry that they're in is I don't know how long has it been
It
since
looked
somebody's
it
been
looked
in there?
so old.
The chances of those sprinklers working is very like what if she shot it and just nothing happened and then she's just like well
It just shoots out oil.
And on top of that, it's been 400 something days. Why is the water pressure still working?
yeah
Yeah.
That's
Also,
I mean-
Good
all
point.
the doors are like super quiet when you open them. Like that bunker door is like, bro, you know how much WD-40 you have
Yeah.
to put on
Bro,
that thing for it to
Nick
be
would
that
know.
quiet?
Nick over here would know a thing or two.
I was about to say
WD-40.
here at MediaMix we know a thing or two about
bunker
'cause we've seen a
doors.
thing or two. Yeah, but like yeah, in order to make that thing quiet, because imagine they're like, oh yeah, don't worry, I'll like have you go into this bunker and just
They
like
called Nick.
They were sponsored by WD-40.
Well,
Yeah.
Emmett probably used it every day, only a couple times a day, so he used it pretty often. 'Cause
yeah.
He lived there.
probably just suffocating himself in the furnace every day.
The thing
I didn't understand that until like the second time they did that. by the
yeah,
way.
so I didn't understand why he had the timer. I thought it was like something else, like he was timing
Oh, yeah,
like
I didn't
how
know either.
long, like
They
the,
usually stay.
I thought it was like yeah, the attention span of the alien. I'm like, how long did
He's
he
going
manage
for the
to
Guinness
like
Book of World Records? or
yeah, of
something.
holding his breath?
Why didn't it?
I thought that towel was there to keep it quiet from shutting, but it was there to keep him
Maybe
from like
both.
being locked in.
That whole scene was like, I really liked the whole situation of the son and the baby being just locked in the bunker, running out of
Yeah.
air.
Yeah, it made it very suspenseful.
What do you mean that was a good scene?
was a
Because
Good
it added to the suspense.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
so worried for
when
them.
when he starts like taking some of the air, I legitimately thought that he was just gonna kind of be like whatever
Like,
the baby
fuck
was
the
just,
baby.
I was like, it's just a baby like
Fuck the baby.
Fuck the baby.
Stupid kid.
let's go.
Not saying fuck the baby the rapper. I mean,
He's a cool
but
guy.
yeah, the baby from the movie.
Wow, we're really funny.
Anywho.
The baby.
So we kind of like jumped into, halfway, 3/4 through the movie. We didn't like really talk about like the beginning that much. I just want to mention, we had the flashback in the beginning, right?
Mhm.
I was under the impression, like by the trailer, that there would be many like flashbacks to like present time. You know what I mean? Like kind of showing more of like the
Oh,
beginning.
yeah.
but they only did one, and I was like kind of disappointed. I was like waiting for more.
You're kind of
I thought
left.
it was good.
Well, they did a
Just
few
one flashback
flashbacks,
was
I
enough.
think, but it was enough to give us insight on what happened or like how it began, like for the most part.
So when we left the theater, well, I should probably say like what happened in the theater, because it was the same way with Quiet Place 1. Concession like sales were really low because nobody wanted to buy it because they knew it would be loud. There was a person who had the loudest box of M&Ms. Like, stop.
Like Mike
It was so, or like Mike and Ike's or something. And that brings me to the fact, like, the sound design was incredible, but don't watch this movie in theaters. Watch it when you get home, because it's going to suck, because you're going to have some fat
Well,
guy
Yeah,
next to you.
watch it with headphones.
I mean, I like the theaters because it
Watch
has
out
the
for headphones.
surround sounds. You can like,
Yeah.
I don't know, it just gives you like that better
Yeah.
experience. You know, you just gotta get lucky.
You have to.
headphones can do surround
Also,
sound, kind of.
or just ignore
Directional
people,
noise.
man. Just enjoy yourself and ignore
Yeah,
everyone
yeah,
else.
just
I had
put
no
on
problem where
earmuffs
I
when
was
you go to
sitting.
the movie theater.
There was people talking behind us during the movie, and my mom turned around and like stared them down, and I was like, "Leave them alone. They're enjoying a movie. Like
Yeah.
we're trying to enjoy a movie. Just everyone enjoy themselves."
But like,
Just
do you? Because I
chill out.
remember
Everyone enjoy themselves.
I talked to you about how much like our
What?
joints
What?
pop and stuff. Like, you know what I'm
Your
talking about? Like when
joints.
your joints, like your joints and my joints, like pop and stuff. Like, I don't know if you can hear him.
He's
Oh.
grosser.
Yeah, I'm a little bit grosser, but like my toes kind of do it. Like, when I
Oh
walk.
yeah,
would-
my
he would
ankles
die.
cracked.
Imagine like you're trying to walk and be quiet, and all you hear is like, and you're just like,
your knee just pops because you have Oscar slaughters.
Same.
Yeah,
See,
that's a real thing.
How did they? This is like a completely different note, but like, how did they pour down that sand that they walk on the entire time? Like, you know that had to have been like
True.
noisy, and they're saying like,
I always thought it was
Where
salt.
did they get the sand?
it's a lot of salt.
I know. That's why I was confused.
They got all the bad reviews from the movie. Whatever. I'm
Where
not
did they
even
get
try
the
for that
sand,
joke.
too?
No, it's sugar.
Well, okay, so that's another.
I know where that's going.
Sugar.
That's another thing about the movie, is that like they're like nowhere close to a beach, and we see that
Where
because
did they
it's
get all that sand?
it's a day's
Well,
worth.
no, wait. Yes, they are, because remember in the first movie, the girl, when she gets mad, she kind of like leaves for a little while,
yeah.
and she goes to a beach.
No.
I don't remember.
No,
She
No.
does. She,
Yeah.
she gets mad, and she like walks. She's like, I don't know. She's mad at her dad or something because her dad wouldn't let her like down in the basement. So she gets mad and like walks off, and then like next thing you know, like, you know, she's at the beach, just laying down in the
At
sand.
the beach.
Yeah. So yes, they are
I
next to a
vaguely
beach.
actually remember that.
They are.
Real
yeah.
quick,
Vaguely.
though, talking about that though, I liked how they were all barefoot, and then Emmett is just wearing like
yeah,
shoes,
he was
like
wearing
boots,
shoes.
and then I was like, he just doesn't care. He does not
no.
like, or
Emmett or
that
Lee?
he just understands that that's so dumb. He's like, I'm gonna crunch this leaf either if I'm barefoot or not. Might as well not be bleeding.
But
But
Yeah,
also,
what if
I
they
think
step on a nail?
I think
Yeah.
Oh.
I think that the deaf girl, what's her name again?
Deaf girl.
Reagan. Sorry if I was offensive by saying that, but Reagan, I think it's like beneficial for her to wear like bare feet so she could feel the ground, because
You can feel vibrations.
hard of
She's
hearing
not-
people.
She's not blind. She's
No,
deaf.
she's
Yeah, but you're,
deaf, but
you
vibrations.
hear vibrations.
Making
You can,
clicks.
if you have
Toph?
vibrations.
Toph, is that you?
Stop. If you have vibrations, you can like kind of feel it. Like that's why hard of hearing people, they put their hand on like speakers to feel it, like the beat of music. So I think, I don't know. I feel like
But why
her
are they
being
all
barefoot
barefoot?
helps.
No, dude.
I don't know. Maybe they just didn't want her to feel alone. I guess. I don't know.
And also clearly didn't
Got
help
some
on the
freaky
train.
toes.
Talk about playing survival games on hard mode. dude.
On the train that didn't
Friggin-
help her.
That's true. Yeah.
Not really. Well, so that brings me to another point, right? So, it's kind of cool because you see them barefoot and you see how dirty their feet are. So it's actually kind of like, it's not like
It
they
looked
have
like her feet were bloody too.
yeah.
Or
But-
Stepping on rocks.
Yeah, you're stepping on rocks.
That beginning scene when they're like
Oh.
doing like that with the toes on the rocks, I was like, yeah.
Yeah,
I
you
was
ever
like,
step on a rock
Yummy.
with the palm of your foot and it cuts your ankles open?
But it's
Too.
but it's funny because remember the scene like in the beginning where John Krasinski's character is like cutting the orange and Reagan's like, your hands are disgusting.
Oh yeah.
I love the scene where the dude's like starting to like make a noise. He's like, and it's like, ugh, like look how gross your hands are.
I mean,
Or well,
He's
even
really-
I understood him going like that, but then for the amount of time that he did it for, I was like, I think he got the point.
Yeah.
Like now, just like weirdly
like-
sexual tension.
What if he licked his hand?
I
He's
was
like,
I was
"Ugh."
also gonna bring up like I was gonna say like how do they know to be quiet? But then at the same time, it's just kind of like human nature to
To be
like
quiet,
Yeah, to be
wow.
quiet.
Yeah, your
like
fight
when
or
there's
flight
like
instincts
danger
just
around.
kick
Yeah.
in.
when there's like danger around, you're like, okay, like I'm gonna try and avoid conflict by not saying anything to draw attention to myself. I don't think they necessarily knew that they were blind, but that's what I was saying. I was gonna bring it up, but then I realized I was like, yeah.
Speaking of that scene, I called it like when it cut to like the couple like holding each other. I go, her phone's gonna go off.
Really?
I called it, and I was like, her phone's gonna go off.
Oh yeah, she was trying to call her mom earlier.
And then it goes like, beep, boop, beep, boop. The watcher's like, time to die. But something that I realized, like, so it's PG-13, right? Mm-hmm. And all the scenes you just see.
This is PG-13.
Yeah. You see the people get like flung around.
Yeah.
I feel like if it was R, you would have seen somebody get cut in half.
No, you would have seen people just like get
There's that one
liquefied
guy
by
on
their
the island.
massive hands.
And that was the thing, is like they get hit and it's kind of it doesn't feel as like impactful, because like granted the things run through a car, but when you get hit by them, it's like, ow, I get a cut. And I'm dead.
No, when you get hit by them, they go flying.
You go flying.
Yeah, you go
actually
flying, but you're just
Unless you're the guy at the dock scene who's like stuck on the pole and the creature's just like going at him. He's like,
Oh my
yeah,
god.
yeah, yeah.
Well, because like Emmett stabbed him, so he made a lot of noise, and then
Yeah.
Well, he
He
screamed.
screamed.
Well, it's when I
also
meant,
the
like, he
part
made a lot of
when he's
noise.
under the water, and I'm like, oh man, it would have been great if he had the knife, and you can like see the
can
knife
see
in
him
his
hold the
hand.
knife.
It's like you could just.
Hey, you could just cut the rope.
Well,
dude.
actually, no, you can't. You're underwater. That's gonna be really freaking hard to
Around your neck, right here.
I am not putting a knife.
No,
like,
my
yeah,
Cut your
just like
neck off. Yeah.
Okay, well, you're not either way.
I'd rather
We'll
cut up
try.
here so I'm not attached to like the net.
Yeah,
but,
but
it's
you
still
kinda-
choking you.
Yeah, you have to like
Well, not-
tighten it and then cut it.
Clearly
yeah, but
not
then you're
enough,
at risk
though.
of choking
Well,
yourself at
you're
the
gonna
same
press
time.
it, like, you need, I don't know.
Harder.
I think it's possible. Just pull away a
Murder.
little bit. Obviously, he had room to breathe, so he could have just held it. And,
I think it would have been kind of. Well, the thing.
I think it was too close to his neck. I don't know if he was able to get the knife there.
I wanted it to be rated
He
R
would've done it if he was
because the
based.
part where the dude's getting like murdered and you just see the part where Emmett's underwater. I was like, I know Emmett's not gonna die, but it would have been kind of cool to see some like really gruesome parts.
I really thought
would've been cool if he
spoilers.
was
I
gonna
guess I mean
die.
just pulling spoilers, but I thought Emmett really was gonna like sacrifice himself.
Yeah, I thought that too at the end.
Yeah, at the end.
I thought it was gonna be that way too. I guess because like the wife is like, you're nothing like him, so then in the end he'd be like, I have to be like him.
Well, he
Yeah.
didn't know that
Yeah.
he
That's
sacrificed
why I
himself.
like his
but
character progression, because it goes from,
Emmett to
like I
Lee.
said, from being like his wimpy self to being like
So,
Lee.
Yeah.
again,
Self-sacrifice.
I don't think so at all. But
I got
go
a
on.
question, though.
You guys are all stupid.
So, what do you guys think these monsters eat, though? Like,
People,
are you sure?
their
'Cause-
kid.
I don't know.
They never ate.
They never eat people. They just
You
kill.
never see
Yeah, they
like
just
any of them
killed it.
eaten. Like you see all these dead people laying on the ground, like everywhere, like especially in the train and whatnot.
But we
they
didn't
never-
see the their kid's body.
Maybe
Oh
they're,
no, they eat children.
Maybe
Mhm,
they're
they eat
vegetarian.
children.
They eat babies.
It's like the kid's body is just like massacred on a tree.
Oh,
Nearby
no.
nearby
And
the
Charles
cross.
is hanging out.
Well, there's the part where like he gets hit and then like Lee just like stops, but like that kid just was. It's like the equivalent of seeing like a balloon get smacked with a baseball bat. Like he got like they Sherman Williams
Wait,
that
wait,
was.
I have a
So there's
theory.
like, so what is their aggression towards humans? It's just like you make noise, you die.
I have a theory.
I mean, I get it, right? You wake up too early in the morning. You're like,
But it's all the
Listen,
time. They're just
today.
running, like especially when a big crowd of people. There's like a big crowd of people. They're like, yes, and they run there. And they're just smacking people.
Do
They're
you-
not even eating
I
them.
have
They're
a
just
do you
theory.
remember
smacking
the
them.
part? Do you remember the meme where it's just like, "Good morning, Kanye"? He's like, "Shut the fuck up!" Like that's what it is.
I have a theory.
What's your
So,
oh no.
what if
Oh,
their
no, Matt
digestive
Pat.
organs are in the tips of their fingers, and the way they feed is by attacking things with their hands?
So I thought it would be really cool the fact that this
Okay, just-
movie kind of takes place
Alright.
in like a urban setting, right?
Yeah.
Well, I get kind of. It's a very small town, but also we're on a farm, right? For the majority of one, and then this one. But I think it'd be pretty cool if we got like a third one. I know it wouldn't be obviously the same, maybe not the same characters, but having maybe a third one that takes place in a city, it kind of cool because we saw like again maybe a handful of these creatures, right?
Yeah.
Within a small town, let alone within a, I feel like in a giant city like Chicago, New York, or, it doesn't have to be America. We could see around the world.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But
yeah.
like,
Well,
I think it'd be kind of cool to see something like that. And obviously, we might have seen something like that from Cloverfield, which is kind of like the same
Yeah, that's
thing.
true.
Is that the
But-
way where like they're in the bunker with the guy who voices Sully?
That's
like
Cloverfield
the
Lane,
second one or
yeah.
third one, but like yeah. So the first Cloverfield movie, not to talk about it too much, but it essentially takes place in New York, and it's about a giant alien that comes down from space.
Wow, it takes place in New York.
Like
Yeah,
everything else.
like everything else.
Wow.
Like when you're talking about like the possible third movie, like I was doing some research. People were discussing whether they should do like another one and make it like a trilogy, and whether it'd be like a terrible idea or a good idea. Because like some people didn't like the second movie because they thought the good one was good enough, and that this one either like
Well,
made it like worse or like kind of just like
I
made,
liked it.
can I?
Well, other people were like
Right.
talking about that. So like if they did like, would it make it better or like? Would like they be holding it on like for too long, or would it?
No,
just
I
be,
like them.
a-
I like the series. I think they should make.
Here's
a
the
third
thing.
movie.
Here's the thing. What's the guy's name? Because I'm tired of calling him Jablinski.
Jablinski,
Lee?
Lee?
No, the
John.
director
John.
guy.
John
Krasinski.
John.
Right?
John
Krasinski.
Krasinski.
What's his name?
Jim
John
Halpert.
Krasinski.
What?
John Krasinski. Which
Krasinski.
main guy?
Okay.
Which main guy?
The guy who's
The father?
actor, producer, director.
Yes.
John
John
Krasinski.
Krasinski.
Didn't want a second movie. He just
Yeah.
wanted the first movie. He thought it was conclusive enough, but
So I
he
think,
left
like-
it open enough to have a sequel
yeah.
if they wanted. So I think this was just kind of like a reluctant, like sequel. You know,
Because
just to,
his wife and him like fought over this movie a lot, or like had a lot of debates, and
Mhm.
it kind of like made I think based on like what I read some stuff, the marriage a little rough. So like they didn't want to do that because it's probably great, but based on online websites, you never know the truth. But like that's just what I read, so maybe that's probably why they debated on doing a second one, because he didn't want that to like happen again, which I hope it didn't. But
Do you know why? Possibly why that it
I
made
mean,
it rough?
if you're like always like you're debating and like trying to make a good movie and like just professional, but like with like your family, I don't know.
it could also just be like he was satisfied
know.
with the first movie and just wanted to move on. But going back to the idea of there being a third movie, because I don't see a third movie having the same cast.
Yeah, I mean, that's the same
Abbott
different
family.
area.
I think their story is concluded. There's nothing more to like expand with them.
Well,
I mean,
we don't know if they made it to the island.
'cause they never showed that.
It doesn't
Yeah.
Unless they
matter.
do a backstory
We can
on
just
what happened to
assume that they
Emmett.
did. Like, there's not going to be a movie about bringing the rest of the Abbott family to the island.
Yeah, it'll
No
be a
one's gonna
5-minute
watch-
movie.
Yeah, no one's going to watch that.
And here's another.
Like, the
I'd
thing
watch it.
is, wait, let me finish. This movie, the main characters of this story are just regular people. So, as long as they just do another, like, they do the next movie from the perspective of another regular family from, like, Brazil. I don't know.
That'd be
It
really-
would work. It would work. And that would be a good third movie.
So
But
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
it
Here's-
is like
Or maybe like a
John
military.
Krasinski's and his wife's like,
Or The
movie,
Rock.
though, so they wouldn't make a movie if they weren't like in it or a part of it.
And here's something
Well-
that kind of is weird, right? So they get to the island and then they play the sound, and only a few select people know that is what makes them weak. So what happens when all the rest of them freak out and everybody's just like, they're freaking out, I don't know what to do, and then like nobody knows to
Well,
like
they could
shoot
just
them.
explain it over the radio.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, what then what happens then?
Hey guys, this is how you kill the monsters. You hold up a little earphone thingy to the microphone and cause a high-pitched frequency at a very loud volume.
No, what he's-
by the
He's
time
defending-
No,
saying
what
is
I'm
it's
saying
already
is
there.
they say it's already there. So what if you're like, oh, I need to tell them how this kills them, and you take it off, and right when you take it off, they like stop being effective
Dead.
and then just kill you, and it's just
Yeah.
like,
or no, like while you're explaining it, your voice is super loud, attracting the monsters.
Yeah.
By the time you're done explaining to it, all the people listening just die.
I mean, to be fair, obviously the aliens are freaking out, so at some point you can assume, like, hey, that looks like a weak spot. Like, if you're smart enough, you've lived this long, right? You're not some idiot who's just gonna be like, what? I guess I'm gonna walk away.
Look
like,
at all the
yeah, exactly.
None of my business.
I've played a video game before. That looks like a weakness.
Exactly.
That's a soft spot.
Yeah, and then okay, so that's another thing, right? So they've got like little plates around their head that are like bulletproof.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
not like completely open. So like, what if you shoot a bullet and it just goes like ding, and it just like you have to like hit it directly like where there's a soft
Well,
spot.
Yeah.
With the shotgun, it's easy because it's just buckshot and it just goes everywhere. But with like a pistol, what if the kid shot it, it deflected, and it just like went right back at him?
But he, like, walked up to it.
Credits
like,
roll.
It wasn't
Yeah.
like he was, like, aiming
And it
from
was
distance.
yeah.
But it gave me something when I was watching the movie. It gave me a lot of like Stranger Things vibes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because watching it, it was like the monsters kind of look like just like
Oh, Demogorgons.
a,
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
bigger Demogorgon that is blind, and you also have like main characters who are under the age of like 16 like doing this stuff, so it's just like very Stranger Things.
Did you know Stranger Things is based off a true story?
I'm sure this is totally based off a true story.
I could see it happening.
There were like actual like Demogorgons, like real ones.
Oh,
let's talk about that later. We do the podcast.
Yeah, when we do it on Stranger Things.
On the what is it, 3rd season of Stranger Things?
4th.
That's the 4th is coming.
I'm gonna say I just don't believe that, but anyway, I thought the one part that took away from me was the very beginning, only because obviously the kids were older. But I kind of like glossed over that at the same time because I was like, I know it's hard to obviously work with kids because obviously they grow up, they get older. The baby was clearly different, but it was like obviously you just get a new baby. You can't get a new like.
This one didn't work out. Here you go.
Well, you know what I mean. A new baby actor.
2 years old. The second.
Go to Walmart. You're just like, it doesn't work anymore. Get.
I thought you were
like,
talking about like, all right, this baby is making too much noise. Here, take it.
Like the actors themselves, so like.
Might as well try again.
Like with Stranger Things, it's like you obviously have to record all the seasons as quick as possible before they get too old.
Yeah.
So just like with this, like the Reagan and the boy, or whatever. Clearly in the flashbacks.
Yeah, that's true.
It was clearly harder to do,
Right.
but I was like, you know what, whatever, we got it, right? Because I mean, again, yeah. Marcus,
it was only a year ago, so it makes sense. And like in the movie, story time wise.
But you can still like
I
get
did
really
notice
tall
that-
in a year
yeah,
for like
the
someone
sun
hitting
looked
puberty.
like a
like-
lot
Yeah.
bigger.
yeah, the sun was a lot bigger in the flashback too, and you're
Yeah.
like, wow, okay.
Like, dang.
But
Boys,
And-
you stuck.
And something that was kind of weird, so the new character they introduced, which is Emmett, which is played by Cillian Murphy, watching it is kind of odd, only for me, I guess, because like if you watch Peaky Blinders, it's just really weird
What's
hearing him
Peaky
have.
Blinders?
It's a Netflix show.
Yeah, it's a Netflix show where you've seen it, right?
no.
Okay. Well, anyway, he's in a lot of different things. For instance, if you've ever seen like a Christopher Nolan film, he's in a lot of those. He's Scarecrow. He's also, what's his name from Dunkirk? He's a lot of people, but he's British. So hearing him do like a really clean, perfect American accent was just really impressive for me. I mean, he's done it before, but
I feel like doing an American accent for British people is easier than Americans trying to do a British accent.
it's because they're more talented.
Were you just trying there?
No.
I think you were.
All right. Anyways.
Hello, love.
Did I sound British?
Hello.
Hello, love.
Hello.
Okay.
I just want to mention that, like, in the beginning, and also on like the dog scene, like whenever they mention the what?
Sorry, no, I was just thinking.
Go on.
What are you guys talking about? We just made
Complete
we made eye contact, and it was just like, what?
Anyways.
All right.
Go ahead.
So like
Go ahead.
the dive, right? And the like during the game when I was like, hey, what's
Oh yeah.
this like sign for like dive, and she did it, and John's like, hard one.
That's a hard one.
Yeah, but like the fact they used that one for like 2 different scenes is like smart, I guess. Like
It was
Yeah.
it was like
good-
really
good,
like
It was very
already.
cool. Yeah. I
Because
liked
then
it.
he was like, dive into the water.
But they used. So
what are the odds?
yeah.
I mean, exactly what are the odds, but like it's just a cool that they like incorporated like that, and they made sure they like signify like that
Continuity.
So yeah, he's the one thing that he actually knew because he struggled talking to Reagan before because he was like, fuck this, I
Yeah.
can't fucking talk.
Because I mean, imagine, right? If that wasn't included in the flashback of the girl showing Emmett how to do dive, and he's just like at the dock, he's like, "Look, dive! I learned it on Google."
Or like
It's pretty
it kinda
self-explanatory,
Yeah,
though,
he
the
probably would have
symbol
just like
for
done this
dive.
anyway.
Yeah,
like,
I
dive
feel like I'd do it
up
too.
a
She
shark.
didn't know how to swim.
Well, it sucks for her.
Well, she can join the creatures at the bottom
So,
of the ocean.
what was up with those people though at the dock? That like, what were they? They just kind of like live in the boats and just be weird and.
Cannibals.
So wait,
Oh,
here's
yeah.
here's
I don't
another
know.
thing that's weird, right? So if like they rip off her shirt and you can kind of like fill in context clues as to what's about to happen.
Yeah.
If they're about to do that, what if she's just like, oh, I guess I'm gonna get touched anyway, and I don't want this to happen, and they might kill me after. And then they're just like that's just the dumbest. It's the dumbest. It makes sense when you're in like a zombie apocalyptic because you just like go in a room and then you're fine. But like,
What do you mean it makes sense?
it makes
Hang on.
it makes like
Cue
from,
the
like,
music.
from like
Right, makes sense.
from
dun 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 dun.
yeah from a situation where like you can get away with it. Like, that makes sense. Like, the one crime you do that, like, you would be safe like,
What?
you know what I mean,
I'm
right?
pretty sure.
Change,
Like,
Stop talking. Just stop
you
talking.
can get away with any crime now because there's no police.
There's no crime that you can commit, because most of the time crimes that you commit in this situation are a double-edged sword, because most of the time they're gonna make like a sound. It's not
Stab. Look, done.
well, whatever. You know what I mean.
We know what you mean,
knife
but you
going
said
into
it
his head
very
would make
poorly.
noise.
I know. Sorry.
It does the sing, sing.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? Scream now?
Yeah. No, the monsters hear the sing.
That's the sound of a knife.
When they went to that island, though, like when they first got to that island, like I don't know about y'all, but like I didn't know that they made to the island yet. Like I thought they were still like I don't know on the original like mainland. So whenever like Emmett saw those people, I thought it was like either a flashback or like he was seeing things, cause like they didn't like make it that obvious that it was like on the island. Like they didn't show like them getting like off the boat. Okay, nice.
I
No,
think
y'all
just
agree.
goes-
I was just waiting for you to finish.
I honestly just stared.
I
was
was
just,
Yes,
like,
we're
I know,
watching.
like getting head nods, like.
I'm listening. That's my attention.
What is the actor's name that's driving the car with him on the island? He's like, I have to get back to my family.
Oh my gosh!
I'm
Why did
getting
they
to
leave
that.
the door open? Like he
Well-
literally was asking
Well,
to be snatched.
I kind of liked his
I don't think they left.
exposition dump when he's talking with Emmett, and he's like, we had 12 boats lined up that day, and only 2 got off because people just kept pushing and being like
Screaming.
stupid, and they wouldn't get on the boats, and they started screaming, and they all died. I'm like,
What do you mean you get
Bruh.
that? It's
I
kind of
mean,
self-explanatory.
yeah, mass
People
panic.
are,
I did get that. I was
Yeah.
like, I like the exposition dump because it was like, you know, that's all that was left.
It would have been
kind
kinda
of boats
cool.
worth of people, and that's
Yeah.
all there is. Imagine if like all 12 boats made it.
It would have been kind of cool if they, had that in the, story.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
more in the
had shots of that.
flashbacks. Yeah.
I know.
And with
I
that
think
said,
that would have
and,
been too
and
much.
with that said, they're broadcasting the music over the radio. Why don't they like every few minutes have like a recording say like they can't swim? Like why don't they tell a bunch
Yeah,
of people
why don't they say, hey, we're on this island. They can't get to this island. If you can get to it, you're safe.
Yeah, they're
Instead
just-
of let's do a secret message that the aliens like.
Yeah,
How do the
also-
aliens
wait,
understand that?
Yeah, what would they be like? It's like, oh, I know this song. I remember seeing Nemo. It's about water.
Wait
like,
a sec. I just
That
realized
didn't make sense. Yeah.
how stupid all the islanders are because they all knew that they couldn't swim, right? The guy told me, he was like, once we figured out they couldn't swim, that's why we went to the island. When the monster came on the island, why didn't all the people just go in the water?
Well, I mean, I'm
they
sure
were like
They
nowhere
didn't know.
Because they
near
didn't
it.
know.
They weren't. Emmett just came from the water.
Yeah, but he was sprinting.
He was trying to warn them, and those aliens, they run pretty fast, so like.
They just run to the
trying
water.
to run to
And-
the water before they get there.
Yeah, and also
get in
it's
their
not
swimming
like-
pool.
Like the beach, like just dips into like the abyss.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's a shoreline, so,
Yeah, so they can
chase you
and
for a
you
while.
slow down while you're in the water. I'm sure those things don't really slow down that much until you're in like deep, and even then, I don't
Yeah.
know.
No,
And-
it doesn't make sense.
In every
I've
scene,
seen-
in every
Okay.
movie scene where there's a small child, like I don't know, 5 or 6, they always stand and stare. Every movie, they're just
Yeah.
like,
Oh my
To
gosh.
be fair, kids don't know what's going on.
freaking, he's seeing a giant monster. He's just like, like honestly,
He's just
honestly,
hiding.
He wasn't
I know
even
this is-
crying
I know
either.
this
He
is
was
terrible,
just staring blankly.
but like Cillian Murphy grabs this kid, I would have just like, I'm getting out of here.
The kid's
that
just
kid's
like-
gonna slow me down. I'm sorry.
Where the kid's just like, Daddy, it's a giant Tyrannosaurus thing. Can I
Yeah.
touch its leg?
I mean, I don't know. I just think that the kids were like in shock. I mean, like
True.
obviously it's a
Yeah.
traumatic event. It's been traumatic for the past year. So I don't know. That's what I always got out of situations like that, where I'm like,
Yeah.
they don't know how to
Yeah.
react. Fight or flight. Their mode is just freak out.
Stand.
Yeah.
Fight or stand.
Yeah,
Um,
that's the first one of the like human reactions to like fear is freeze,
Yeah.
Shut
'cause
down.
shock.
freeze, run, and then fight.
And so also something that like Alex pointed out when we were watching it, when they're on the trail and there's like all like the leaves and the rocks, why don't they just walk on the grass? Isn't that quieter?
Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
grass on the sides,
it's-
and like I told him,
Yeah, but like
it's
crunchy
a lot,
leaves
like,
are.
yeah, it's a lot quieter than walking.
What
on
kind of
crunchy
grass are you
leaves.
walking in?
Yeah, but if there's on the railroad, they could
grass.
always step
The,
on.
the
They
grass is
weren't.
actually like green.
But
and
they could have
soft,
just
though.
stepped on the wood.
Yeah,
What happened to the monsters during thunderstorms?
When they
Lots of
just
lightning.
freak out.
The ones like,
What is this? They're like trying to go to the lightning.
they start like jumping in the air.
So wait, and that also brings me, because he said, like, what if it happened in a city? What if you're on the top of a building and you're like, hey, oh my god, what if it started climbing up buildings?
No shit.
That would be terrifying.
Or you're on top of the roof and you go, hey, and you like step out of the way, like as it like jumps at you.
Yeah, what? Do they die of fall damage, or is it that
Fall
point they're
damage.
like,
Do they take
Well, I mean, they
fall
came
damage?
down on a meteor, so I don't think they do
Yeah,
die
that's
of
fair.
fall damage.
well,
I
that's
think
Maybe
they're fine.
Maybe that fall's scripted.
They're
Maybe every
here.
other
Everything's
they take
scripted.
Every other fall though they take damage.
Scripted.
Like a really trashy
Like this is a
video game.
documentary.
So what if you're on the other side of like the Grand Canyon and you just like scream and then they start running after you? All you see is like,
Get me now, dude! He just jumps over.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
They go to every single spot where they hear the echo at.
Ugh.
Before
But-
they get to you.
Before Alex freaked out about her point,
Which one?
when you talked about us staring at you,
Oh yeah.
I thought that when Murphy, right? I forgot his name already. Emmett.
Murphy.
Yeah, when he got to the place, he like the way that he was staring at everybody and looking at everybody, and he talked about before, like there's not people worth being saved. I honest to God thought he was just gonna turn into like a villain, like he was gonna like slaughter
Yeah,
the
he's just
town.
gonna kill the whole town.
Yeah,
Well,
I was like, what a turn, what a twist. That no longer the aliens or monsters or like the villains, right? Like he's just now on this murder spree because he doesn't believe that it's real, that it's not like a thing.
Yeah.
That would've been
See,
crazy
I
to
thought
see,
that
like,
was. I thought kind
He
of
just
something was gonna
snapped.
happen
Mental
like that
breakdown.
because I thought that was the whole importance of the scene of the kid leaving the bunker and like exploring the place that Emmett
Yeah.
lives in, and then he goes up and finds
That he was
his
like
find out.
unhinged.
Yeah, and then he opens up the curtains and he sees like the dead wife like just
Yeah.
decomposing
Yeah,
there,
we
and
know
then at that point,
necrophilia.
Talk
see at
about
that
that,
point
like-
I thought it was gonna like veer
be
towards
fair,
the point of
How do you dispose of a body?
I didn't know she
That's
died right
true.
there.
Yeah.
Like
You
right
do what
next
he
to
did-
like.
Quietly.
You do what he did in Nobody.
What?
You just put him in a basement and set the basement on fire.
Oh yeah, then he'll
Yeah, but
use
then
his
that-
only place where he stays at, and he's just like, oh, what's
Okay,
this
Just
thing?
find a basement.
Anyway,
Everyone's dead.
All right. Anyways, I thought that was gonna set up a story, okay, now we kind of know that Emmett's like, kind of like
Crazy.
deranged. Yeah. So like and the girl doesn't know obviously. So then I thought that was the whole importance of that scene of like seeing the wife sitting there like decomposing like on the table.
Also,
And-
he has like photos of his son, but he decides to take the one drawing of his son that he made.
Yeah.
What a
I just
weirdo.
thought he was like, I thought that was supposed to veer towards him being crazy, and then something's gonna happen like right after that scene that is gonna show like, okay, this man's like, this man's insane.
Psychotic.
He's bad now. He's like a bad guy.
Also,
that would have been cool.
What if he got to the island and he like scared somebody and they're like, "Ah!" and they just like kill him? Like what happens then? What if they killed both of them? Like what?
Those motherfuckers startled me.
I know there's a lot of what if questions, but it's kind of one of those movies where it's like it wasn't.
And they were completely just like, oh hey, like
Yeah.
there was no like,
Like
everybody didn't stop and like stare at them or anything. They were just like, welcome to the island.
Here's some, here's some soup we made with the fire. Like,
Where are they getting the food? They're on an
Yeah,
island.
how?
Oh
they're
well, I
probably
guess they could
growing it.
fish.
They could farm
And
probably.
they can also like risk their lives and go back for some food.
no.
I doubt it.
Mm-mm.
I don't think there's any
Or-
food.
I'd
left
rather
back
fish
there.
and
Maybe
die
they just
there.
had food on the battleship, you know,
Fish stew.
Battleship.
Battleship?
or the ships that they
Battleship.
had. I don't
What
know.
movie did you
Sorry.
watch?
You do that.
now this is Battleship.
You
Sorry,
know this
sorry.
was like
No, not the-
470 days after
They
this
still had
happened.
the ships there, though. Did you not see the big ass ships?
Sure, they had the ships, but I don't think that the ships had enough sustained food to last them
Like a
over
year and a half.
year.
Okay,
Yeah, a year
well,
and a
what if
half.
they like portioned it? There wasn't a lot of people there.
There was
There was
quite
a lot of
few
people
people.
there. They were all
Or-
having a grill out.
Or they could make baby and eat baby.
All right.
What the fuck?
I'm
know-
pretty sure
Never-ending food source.
So what if
No.
what would happen if like
You just ate
the
babies?
monsters? No.
You gain the
What if
placenta's
happened-
You would
powers.
retain your youth.
What would happen if like they couldn't drown, right? Like they could like breathe underwater, but they just couldn't swim. What happens when a whale makes a noise? What are they just gonna like freak out and they're just like?
I mean, do you guys ever hear whales on the beach?
it
When
depends
they're
on
in the water.
What a genius.
Wait, are you saying like?
Where are they gonna hear a whale at?
If they- If they didn't drown.
No
you're
one ever
saying.
hears whales unless you're out in the ocean, like under the water.
But to be fair, they also have super hearing.
yeah.
Right.
Okay,
And-
wait,
But they have
backtrack,
super hearing,
backtrack,
but they
backtrack.
can't hear you breathe or like your heartbeat.
Yeah, like what?
Okay,
So,
John.
Wait. So hypothetically, the aliens don't drown, so they just kind of they just sink to the bottom of the ocean, just walk on the ocean floor.
Or they just don't go in the ocean.
Yeah, like
No,
Xavier,
hypothetically, they went in the water and they just can't swim. They just sink to the bottom of the
Like,
ocean.
one of them
They
But
just-
he grabbed onto the boat.
One of them did it, and the other was like, I'm not doing that. You see this buddy drowning.
That'd be funny if he was like, brother.
I thought that it was what I thought it was gonna be. So Emmett's character is in the water. You know when you're like playing blind man and you make a noise and your friend like freaks out. Like what if he was just like. And just like makes a noise and the monster's like he's there and he just jumps in. Like you literally could just sit there and just go like
So
in the
how did
water.
the monster know there was a dock there? Why didn't they just like when they were like sprinting out?
yeah.
Why didn't they just like dive in the water on
That's another
accident?
thing. They're blind. How do they go on the dock? Like
Scripted.
And then they're like
It's all
jumping on
scripted.
boats and stuff. How did they know the boat was there?
And
They
those
just
things
hear
are
vibrations. like, people are hard of
Echolocation.
hearing. Yeah.
well, I guess that too. But the thing is, they're running.
Oh, that's a lot of momentum to
And the
stop.
thing
running
is,
very fast.
they're running really fast. What if the dock was old and they just like and then just go through the
That's
dock?
so funny.
Like they're
See,
just
that would add a lot of like
Humor.
comedic relief to the movie.
Oh my
if like
God.
I saw him like sprint up and it just like it just
And then
falls
he's like in
through.
a
and
shot
they're
to like Emmett,
oh.
just like, oh,
well,
okay.
but the thing, but also you remember that scene like he's trying to stop the people from like doing whatever they're gonna do to Reagan. What if he's like, I'm smart, I'm gonna lead the creature over here, and it just like falls in, and the guys just like look over and look back at him, and he's just like, shit, and just like. I don't
Yeah.
know. There's a lot of what if questions about this movie.
That's why I like it. 'Cause it's like you can speculate on a lot of things, you know.
I have a
But
All right, just real quick. So y'all remember the scene like in like the trains whenever Reagan goes to get the like first aid kit?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I thought she was gonna bring it back to Marcus for like his leg, but she just kind of like
yeah, that just
where
make,
did
would make
it
sense.
go? Like she kind of just left it.
Why did she even grab
I mean,
it?
Why did she?
Why
need
did she
it?
grab
did
it?
she
Because she
grab it?
wasn't.
Sacrificed her life
Yeah,
so
wait,
that
she
didn't
wasn't.
For her
even need.
feet.
She wasn't going back
Oh yeah.
for them anyways. She was
Yeah.
going straight to the
Ankles.
island. So
Like,
why
why
would
did
she
she want
grab
to go on the
it?
train in the first place, and then why would she get that kit? She like almost died for that kit, which she didn't even use.
I knew a jump scare was coming, but
I
I
knew
kind
it.
of, I kind
Oh
of
yeah, because her
thought,
head was covered in the like
yeah,
hallway.
I kind of thought that she was gonna reach in and then like at the same time, like
Yeah, I
one
was
of the
gonna
monsters
grab
took
his
just
hand.
like touched like her
Yeah.
hand. It's like,
Do any of you
Hey.
realize like how hard it must be to survive in a situation like that when you can't hear?
Here, yeah.
Like, she can make the loudest noise and she won't hear it, obviously, but she has to wait until she actually sees the monster coming at her to realize, oh shit, I made a loud noise.
wait, I was in the theater with Alex, and she said like, what if you fart? Like,
Oh my God, I was thinking
that
that.
is the most dangerous thing. Like you feel it coming, and you're just like, oh no, just like, and you're just like,
But what if you're like, what if you're starving and you're someone just go like,
Yeah, you're
my
like,
body.
ow.
I'm sorry, but here's another thing. If you snore, you're dead.
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
I'm sorry
I'm
about.
screwed.
Yeah, like
Put
there's
a
a lot
fucking
of
sock in
people.
it.
Like you just like, there's just a monster chilling, and you're like, oh man, it's time for a night, and just like.
I mean, you're probably sleep in like one of those like soundproof areas, like they
Well,
have.
he slept in the what I'm assuming it was a furnace. I'm assuming, but does he like leave it cracked open when he
I
goes
would
to
assume.
sleep?
It still
No,
helps.
wait,
though.
but
It still
his
helps
bed,
with the
though, was,
sound,
like-
you know?
Up like wherever Marcus found the body. Like he slept over there because his bed was there, so he didn't
So he
sleep like
slept
down
next to
there.
his-
I,
dead wife.
I thought
Yeah.
that was like his son's bed.
Honestly, I don't know. They didn't really like label it like
Yeah.
son's bed. Like you just kind of assume.
Okay.
Emma's son's bed.
So
Sunbed.
It's for him to remember.
What were you gonna say though, Xavier, earlier?
I thought it was really weird that so the whole point of them going to the island was so that they would broadcast that noise that disturbs the aliens to everywhere, right? Or at least to the area that can hear it on the
Yeah.
radio. And they spend the night there and not do anything until the following morning when they have to absolutely go. How long were they going to plan on like not doing anything? Because like the family, the mom and the son were in danger, like immediate danger. And like they knew as the quickest as possible, as soon as they do it, like the more people they would save, let alone if they even knew if their family was like in danger or not. And they still just are like, I'm gonna have soup and hang out with my friends here at this new island.
yeah,
like,
they spent
like,
the whole night.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
not
fuck
doing
Evelyn.
anything.
So
yeah,
that was-
exactly.
And then even on that final scene where like, you know, she was just about to put the thing on there, she just like stood there and like looked at it and she's like,
Yeah,
I'm just
okay,
gonna
that was
stand
gonna
back
get
and
ya.
really take this moment in.
that scene
And
is
she took her sweet
Watch
time.
this.
well, that scene is stupid because she's like, look what I'm about to do, and it's like it can't see you anyway. It's sorry, it's blind. How is it gonna see you?
Also, how does she hear that the hearing aid's on? Like, I know it like makes a loud
Oh my
noise
God,
that she
that's
like
true.
hears, but like when she doesn't have it connected to her ear and she like
I mean,
connects
like,
to
you
the
see
stuff.
the
on,
reaction
like-
though.
Huh?
Like if you see the
She
like,
heard it.
creature,
Yeah,
like,
she heard the static in her ear when it was in.
And she's also
No, but I'm
holding,
saying
the
like on
amp,
most of
too.
the time though, when she doesn't have the when she doesn't have it in her ear, like how does she know she's like, I don't know, how does she know it's like clicking
Yeah.
on? Like she
You can-
could completely like.
Oh wait.
Well, if
do
it's
it wrong
like
and-
touching or connected to like the amp or whatever she was holding, like you
I
can feel the
guess.
vibration.
And another thing is that scene where the monster's crawling towards them. Why is it going so slow? Because you can't say it was injured because it ran through a cinder block wall and was fine and kept on chugging. And then it runs through like, I don't know, a glass window and he's just like, ah. I don't know.
I got glass in my eyeball.
And how she like, I don't know if you guys noticed, but when she killed the monster with like the pipe,
It wasn't sharp at all.
that and it looked like she tried like
Yeah,
stabbing. She
no,
looked like
it
she
looked
hit it with
like
like
that.
with a
She
machete.
She hit it like with a baseball. Like
As
she
it-
did it like this, but
yeah.
it ended up straight in. And
Yeah,
I was like,
she
how
hit
did
it
that
as
work?
if it was a machete, like slicing in the
Yeah.
middle of its head, but it was just like some PVC pipe or like
Also,
some metal
How the
pipe.
heck
I
did
mean.
it like
Another
pierce
thing
his
is
head?
that pipe, I looked at it and like it's gray. That's a piece of PVC.
Was it PVC?
Yeah, how she managed to make that sharper than steel is beyond me.
I mean, if she actually
Movie
ended up getting
magic.
like inside of like the alien's mouth, like if you got impaled by one of those two, you'd probably die. So
Probably.
just
Don't
saying.
think so. I think I'd be okay.
I'm sure if
Actually,
anything,
Yeah,
you
sure.
wouldn't anything
Xavier.
impales your
It looked-
brain head.
It
Your
looked like
your
she just
brain
hit
head?
it though.
Your-
You were supposed
your
to
brain
stab
socket?
it.
See, it would have been like smart if they had like one of those.
A knife.
No, it's
A
like, you know those
knife.
fire
Yeah.
extinguishers that are like in the glass thing, and then like right next to the glass
Yeah,
thing
it's
they
like a
have
little
the
hammer.
yeah they have like the sharp hammer to like break it open. I
thought
guess
it
that
was
would
like a
like
piece of,
they
like,
could have done
silver.
something like that or like
She sees the hammer. She sees like the fire extinguisher. You could like blunt force, and she grabs like a tiny piece of the glass.
Or they just could have given her like a katana or something.
Oh
to-
yeah,
Yes,
no, of
yeah,
course.
yeah,
just-
yeah,
just in a
that could have
recording.
always happened.
In a recording
It's a
studio.
movie.
She's straight up, she's
Anything
Michonne,
can happen.
and she's just like, shing, like, time to die.
Back to the feudal age to you.
Oh
It's-
my
okay,
gosh.
I wanted to mention something that was like super gross because she puts that ear thing back in her ear socket.
Ear
right?
socket.
Remember when the guy
Okay.
Emmett like put it in his mouth
Oh my god, yeah.
and she put it back in her ear
She's like,
after
oh
that?
thanks.
Wait, I don't think it actually goes in her ear.
No,
It
it
like
goes,
it
it
goes
goes
on your
next to
head
it.
and like right here. Like it doesn't
Well, how
actually
else
go
did she
inside
like
your
was
ear.
like, you know, at the end scene she was like holding her ear because of the sound. It
Oh.
was like in her
Because
ear, wasn't
it's
She was
connected
covering
to
the
one of the
thing to avoid it.
canals. I
Yeah.
think it goes on the outside, and
Yeah.
they have to like do like some kind of surgery or something. But I don't know how that worked for her.
I think
So-
she has like a chip in her
Makes
ear
no
or something.
sense.
Well, it's gross because it's like, it's all like with his saliva and you put it on and it's just like,
She probably tried it though.
No.
But like
You
he
get that-
actually gave to
Ew.
her when
Oh, that's
you're
gross.
at the like on the island, so like
Mhm.
it had time to dry. It was immediate.
anyway.
Before we end, I think I wanted to talk about the acting real quick
Okay,
because the acting was really good.
I thought so.
Okay,
For having to
let's go
react to
to the scene with Marcus and the bear claw, right? Dude,
The drink.
no, the bear trap.
The pastry?
No.
Oh yeah, no, with when he was running through the grass and
Oh,
his
yeah.
leg gets like caught in that like little bear trap.
Dude, that scene shook me, dude, because the acting was perfect in
Yeah.
that scene. There was shock, then there was like the realization,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
there was like the screaming,
Yeah.
and it felt so real.
Yeah.
Like,
The whole time I
everyone
was
was
sitting
so
there going,
scared.
"Kid, suck
Shut
it up, suck it
What
up."
would,
Like-
what would you do if you got a bear claw and bear
Dude,
trap.
a bear
I would
claw?
try. Okay, so I would.
I would
You got a
chat
bear
right
trap,
now.
bear trap.
I would
hooked to
be
your leg.
screaming, but I would also be like trying to scream with my mouth closed.
Yeah, 'cause you're
too,
fully
I would
aware.
know.
That's
I
the
would be
thing.
like, whoa.
Again, like
Hear me out.
You're aware of the world
They
that
already
you're in.
they already like alerted the monster that they were there by first the trap where like the
yeah,
bottles
the
came
hanging cans
down,
or
and then
whatever.
after he stepped on the thing, you hear a loud. I'm pretty sure the monster hears that too and knows where he is. So I really think screaming is just like it doesn't matter. Like
yeah,
the
but
monster
you
already
didn't
knows
do it
where
on
you are.
purpose. Like, it's just
I'd definitely scream too.
natural instinct
I
of
feel like-
pain is just to
Yeah.
scream.
I feel like the first scream, anyways. Once you hear the first scream, you're like, "All right, well, now I can scream whatever I want." because they
And
hurt
then,
me.
like, dude, when he
That's kinda
screams
true,
in
yeah.
the little like chamber, right? When she pours like the peroxide on
My
it.
ears
Oh,
were
yeah.
hurting.
That scream was like blood curdling.
Yeah.
It was so good. Like, not good.
Oh.
He's
But it was, like,
I just want to tell the
yeah,
kid to
acting.
suck it up.
The young actors were really good. I'm gonna
All
say
the
that
actors
now.
were good.
Yeah, they were
I-
good, but the young actors, especially for their age, like really good acting.
There wasn't one actor that I thought was like,
Yeah, no,
not
they were
Actually,
they were all
baby.
pretty good.
That
Dang.
one guy on the
Give the
island
baby an
who, the African American male that died because he stood near the
Oh,
opened.
yeah.
My
garage
family!
door.
That's not bad
I
acting.
must
That's
save
just
my
that's just like
family.
that's
It's
just
idiotic
dumb.
writing.
He was like,
yeah.
We can't
Bad
go back
writing.
outside. Where is it? And just stands there.
He's like, what if it's still behind us? Then
It is!
Frickin' yeah, it is. You should just assume that it's still behind you and go
Definitely
through.
behind you, my boy.
He's just like, I need to go back for my family, and it's just like,
Yeah, like
here you
once
go.
they gave him his keys, like his role was like over. He's like, they didn't need him anymore.
Yeah,
So
they're like,
they
well,
killed him off. John's
whatever.
like, bye.
what if the thing wasn't on and they like didn't know how to turn it on and they're just like,
Well,
well,
No, what if the monster just
We're
went on a
dead.
rampage?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
The whole time watching that, I was like, okay, if the monster like hears anything and just like looks to the side and just runs through one of those servers, they're screwed.
Yeah, it's
The
Yeah.
whole
that is
movie's
very
over.
true.
The plot's like they're dead.
that's what I legitimately thought. I was like, if it
Curtis
freaks
Roll.
out and starts like just
yeah, it
smashing
starts like
everything,
hitting
has a
shit.
tantrum.
Because you know those little like all those like towers of like electronics and stuff, they make little humming noises.
Yeah,
and
like a
whatnot. Like
buzzing.
you know, like you think he would hear that and be like,
yeah, and in the first movie he freaks out because there's a time clock ticking. It doesn't even go off; it's just ticking, and he hears it, and then he freaks out. So then that begs the question:
Well, that's a different guy.
if you can, yeah, what if
maybe this one doesn't care as much.
it's just like whatever? That's the sound of a.
I know that sound.
Wasn't
I've heard it before.
wasn't the alien, I guess, that was with the mom and the son, like huge? Wasn't it like
Yeah.
bigger.
yeah? That's what I was thinking too. Like, wasn't it like a end boss kind of like type?
And boss.
Yeah, you know, it was like the other ones were definitely smaller. They're like kind of like dogs. Like some of them, right? Like at least the ending ones, the from number one when
Maybe-
they were running.
Playing with the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe
well,
maybe
yeah,
the
there
one
you go.
inside the radio station was a tad bit smaller than like the one that was with the mom. And
Well,
the...
it looked gigantic because the way that when it was coming out of the giant tube, it had its huge like hand around it. Like,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
looked gigantic.
And another.
What's it eating?
He's getting swole.
Was it eating?
I don't know.
Oh! I thought we were
What
talking-
is
it
he
was just a
eating?
callback.
Yeah,
Vegan
yeah, yeah.
diet.
Jokes.
So what would happen? So like that's the thing, right? So they use the fireworks in one scene to like lure him away. What if they just got a bunch of speakers and like put them in a bunch of different trees
And rickrolled them.
and yeah, just on. Oh, that would suck.
But it would
Go in a
just-
valley and have it echo around. Well, I'd rather hear that all the time versus
Every, like,
But they
drum
would
beat go to a
easily,
different
yeah,
speaker.
but they would easily destroy the speakers compared to you can't destroy the fireworks.
That's why you
It's
like
very
string them from
momentarily.
one
Yeah,
speaker
you
to
st-
another.
you-
before
you string
before they
them
get
in
to
a
that
tree.
one, change the noise to a different speaker.
They can just
Well-
still destroy the tree that's
I mean,
on. Like
there's a
it's-
lot of things they could have made too that would have like helped
Trees
them
don't
out.
make
Like
noise.
say like you get like an air horn, right? And then like kind of like
Right.
rig it up to where, yeah, you put a piece of tape over it, and then like you're about to get attacked, you taped it up, make
and
it
you're
like
holding
go.
on to this
Yeah,
air
I was like,
horn.
Well, you chuck it, and then obviously it's gonna look at you for a second, but then once you chuck it, like that noise goes over there, and he's like, I go somewhere else now.
He dives. He's like,
And that gives you
Hopefully,
time
hopefully
to
you're
escape
fast
or-
enough though.
I mean, especially
Yeah.
if like I don't know that like. So in the first movie, when Lee is sits there and he's like, I gotta scream now to like get
Oh.
the monster to go away. Like
That was so sentimental.
another thing he could have. I mean, obviously like his death was like a part of the movie. Like it had to. There needs to be a sacrifice.
I
it
didn't.
used to be like
I
an
definitely
impact.
cried.
I thought the sacrifice was good. Like I thought it
It
was
was
like.
good.
Oh, I mean, for sure, it was very emotional.
Yeah. I mean, but it could have been avoided if he was like, well, I whipped up this cool contraction where I just tape over the button for
Was
the
it
air
alien
horn,
isolation?
and then just chuck the exactly. Just be
He
smart with
had-
it. Chuck the air horn
He
away,
was
and then the
holding
monster's
an
like,
axe. He was holding an axe, remember? And he just like lets it fall to the ground. And the monster.
He
looks
was
at him.
injured though, like
He
very.
could have
injured.
just chucked the axe.
yeah. Why does he just chuck the axe at like
Yeah,
the
chuck
nearest
the axe.
metal
I don't know,
object
man.
and make a noise?
Speaking of like his death, real quick though.
Did he
like,
also
I was
like
talking-
blow something up too, like by the monsters? I feel like he did.
Fireworks.
Oh, was it that? Was that what
a
it was?
kid who-
Oh yeah, I
Kid
think it was
blew up?
Marcus who blew up the fireworks in the first movie. But
Oh.
and like John's like Lee's death though. I was talking to my coworker and I was like, what if like in the second movie, he like comes back alive somehow. Like they didn't actually show his death. Don't look at me that way. Like they didn't actually like show you him dying. They just kind of like.
They also didn't show the kid dying, but like.
Yeah, the
Okay,
monster
but,
didn't
like-
kill. The monster didn't
But
kill.
all
it
alive.
could have been
Just his
possible,
massacred body on
okay?
the tree.
You would've
He
been
didn't
like,
die from the
"Whoa."
monster. He just kind
It
of
could've
thwacked him
happened.
to the moon.
Then
It
the,
would've
then the
been,
moment
like-
would have been like. Would have meant anything then.
True,
Yeah.
but like it could have
Yeah.
happened. I was just like one of the parts of the movie that I was like.
He got a
"He's
Wii
gonna come back
Sports
alive?"
strike.
Well, that's why when like
got a home
Emmett
run.
first
Yeah.
showed in like the present time in the movie, I was like, Lee, but no. It was
Well-
Emmett.
All right, well,
Well, real quick though, the music that played when Lee died, right? Was I feel like they played at this end as well as this movie. I thought it was also very emotional, but obviously just because of what happened with Lee, I feel like with this moment it didn't really like wasn't very impactful. I
Yeah.
feel like.
Yeah.
That's fair to say.
I feel like the music was pretty good though. Like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
especially on that one scene.
When they played Depeche Mode.
Anyways, on that one scene where Emmett is like walking, he's like, you know, on the beach shore, like after they made it to the island
Yeah.
and everything the next day, and it's like, oh, I've made it. It's like this happy like song or whatever. I'm like,
Again,
okay,
I
nothing's gonna
thought that
happen.
he was gonna crack. Whole time.
And then he like you know, he starts to kind of just walk over. He hears like a little banging sound, like the music still slowly starts to like get more and more like creepy, and then like he starts to walk over and like looks around the corner, and by this time the music's like dark. The music's just turned like suspenseful and creepy, and you're like, and then you see the boat banging up against the water or against the rocks, and you're like,
Yeah, it was a nice transition.
it was a very I thought that like that's the one I remember like really good because just that transition from like, oh, it's so nice, I'm on this nice beach, don't have to worry about these aliens attacking me, and then it slowly starts to get more sinister as he walks
It's like
towards
I'm gonna
it.
die.
Something that
Yay, no more aliens. Oh no, there are aliens again.
something that's really quick, just to like wrap it up. He's running towards those people and he's screaming, and the monster goes after the guy with a bucket.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, he was
I guess
making
the
noise
bucket's
too
louder than the-
originally.
I think it was
voice.
just more of like a matter of like I'm gonna rampage through this sound area.
Well, I don't think Emmett screamed that loud either. I was kind of expecting him to like scream a little louder to warn them.
I think it was just a movie theater.
Yeah.
to
I think
make
it
as
could've also
loud
just
as
been
it
that
was.
he
It
was
sounded like he was
Yeah.
like really trying
He
to
was trying to
scream.
be quiet so like alien didn't attack him, but I also wanted to warn them. So he was like, "How loud should I be?" That kind of thing. And they're also making noise throughout like the whole time anyway. So like the alien was gonna go towards the other people anyways, because Emmett like screamed after they started making the noise after they were talking. So it wasn't like he was the initial target. So that's why he didn't go to him first.
Yeah.
I'm just okay. Listen, I'm not gonna talk anymore. Y'all don't appreciate it.
Well, good thing we're at the end of the podcast because now we're getting into our ratings.
Alright, ratings
This is my last
time.
podcast.
Oh joy.
I'm sorry.
Who wants to go first?
I'll go. Well, we usually end.
I guess
on-
I'll
we-
go
we
first.
This way.
No.
So, yeah, like I said, like we all said, the acting was good. Shut up, phone. I honestly, when I first watched it, didn't really like the movie just because of like the split in the plot from like Reagan and Emmett, and then the mom and Marcus. I thought that was kind of like unnecessary. So, but other than that one little thing, the rest of the story I'd say was pretty solid, especially for a sequel. It built the tension very well. Like the first movie, the tension was solely based around like having no knowledge about what the monsters are, no knowledge about their weaknesses, and knowing that in the second movie they were still able to pull off like a sense of like tension and suspense. So for a second movie, it's not better than the first one. So I'm gonna give it like a 8 out of 10. I
8
think
out of
that's
10?
fair.
So
Alright.
what would you
I
think
would
the
have
first
given
movie?
the first movie like a 9 or a 10. I really like
Wow,
the
a
first movie.
perfect movie.
I'd
Wow.
say I don't know. I'd probably give it like a 9.
Hear that, John?
Better step your
better.
game
That
up, John.
Better do better with the
Jablinski.
third movie. So
Are we
yeah,
coming-
But like,
8
like
out
I
of 10.
mentioned, like shouldn't the third movie like not happen then if it was
I
like getting
personally-
worse?
I personally don't think it should happen if they were thinking about doing it with this family again, like the Abbotts.
Yeah.
It should not be a third movie about them again. I think their story's concluded.
How do you know their last name, but like
Because
not?
they say it multiple times.
They say their
literally
names
say
multiple
the
times.
Abbotts more than any of their
You
individual
can say
names.
Abbott, but not Jablinski.
I can't. I can say Jablinski. I just can't say Krasinski. For
Wow.
some reason.
Anyways, I really enjoyed the movie. I really enjoyed the first movie as well. I wish that beginning scene where it was like the flashback, I wish it lasted a little bit longer. Like my first like impression of like going to see this movie when I saw like a little trailer of it, I thought it was just gonna be the movie was just purely a prequel to the first one. I thought it was just gonna be what happened in the very beginning, which I thought was gonna be pretty cool. But come to find out, it was just a little bit of a flashback of the beginning, and then it takes off where it left off with the first movie. That being said, I thought the acting was amazing, the music, the characters, the just the entire story itself. I thought it was great, contrary to popular belief over here.
What?
So I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10, and I think they should make a third movie because
Popular belief.
I like the series.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Go right
Sorry,
ahead.
I don't want to interrupt you.
There you go.
You're
I'm done.
I agree with you. I enjoyed it. I don't think it's better than the first one. I think it's really close second. I have a lot of things I could talk about it, obviously, but I would give it 9 bear traps out of 10 dead wife corpses.
Oh God, you're taking Xavier's rating system.
All right.
Cut to me.
Sorry.
You gotta do better
Stole
than
your
that.
thunder.
Do I do regular rating?
No,
Now you have to.
You have to do
Now you have
yours.
to do
You have
regular
to
rating.
No,
Well,
because
that's
you don't do
Xavier.
yours out of 10 either. You do yours like weird.
Whatever.
Yeah, I did mine out of 10.
She stole my thing.
All right, Vicky.
Yeah, it's not cool, Alex. I gotta say.
You're up on the code block.
Anyways,
Take it back.
I don't like horror movies. This was kind of like a thriller kind of thing more than a horror. So it was okay. It still had me like kind of freaked out.
I mean, did you feel like the first one was the horror?
The first one did also freak me out as well. I scare easily. And so, regardless of that, it was a good movie. The acting, like I said, everyone was pretty good at it. It was continuous, except for a few parts where it was just like kind of iffy in some of the scenes. But other than that, I would give it an 8.
You good, Schneider?
Out of what?
Out of 10.
Well, I
Okay.
presumed out of 10.
Out of 1,000.
Good. It was a good movie. Go watch it. Go see it in theaters. They've said enough of it. We've said enough. It's a really good movie. I think also it's a good second movie. As far as, what I think of it, I'm going to have to say, I don't know, 14 med kits out of 5 dead,
traps.
strung up kids.
Oh no! I have to make that a graphic.
No, you don't have to graphic it, but
Just
Being
draw like
dressed
So,
up
you're
live.
giving it more.
Let's do
with
Hangman.
X's over
You're
their
giving it
eyes.
more than a perfect rating.
huh? No.
You said
gotta-
14 out of
conversion
5.
ratio?
Well, you got to convert it, right?
Oh,
You gotta
right.
convert
Xavier
it.
logic.
For every one, yeah, whatever.
I'd say it's like what he gave like a 7.
Essentially.
That sounds
can
right.
do math later. Anyway,
That's Nick's job.
always. I thought it was a good spoopy movie. It spooked me.
I'm leaving.
It gave me suspense. It's pretty good. It got good actors. It got good scenes, but it not perfect. So, I mean, I give it like a 9. Nah, no, I'm gonna give it an 8. I'm gonna give it an 8.
Gang,
Eight out of 10.
gang. Nick gang, 8 gang.
Nick Gain, 8 gain. But that's
What'd you
so
say?
whatever the total, whatever the total is. So we're gonna go to this camera, and then we're gonna all.
There's a total.
Aw.
There it is.
MediaMix rating.
Boom.
I don't know what it is until
Catch
Nick puts it
hands.
up.
Yeah, until I put it up.
Maybe the creepy
Maybe-
children cheering.
Yeah.
with the confetti.
Ceiling. Oh no.
All right, Jack.
Hi everybody, thank you so much for tuning in to this one. We all really enjoyed this movie, and if you guys have any suggestions on any movies that you want us to do in the future, or video games, or anything else of the media
All of
matter,
our 1 comments.
Comment down
all of
below.
our one commenter, let us know what you guys want us to do, and yeah, make sure you follow us on our socials. Go follow us on TikTok especially, because I post a lot of funny clips on there from these videos.
Make sure you like and subscribe to this
Yeah.
video.
Please drop a comment. It means the world. We really want to know what you
Yeah,
guys
Zach.
think. But
Please.
without further ado, we'll
like
see
begging.
y'all in the next one.
Bye, guys.
Peace
Bye.
out.
Peace.